Hello, everyone. Here to walk through exercise 9.1 from page 297 with you. The first thing that we need to do, of course, is to get into our data files and open up the employee.html file in Notepad++. The other thing I'm going to do really quick here, just so we can see what the final product looks like, is pull open what it should look like when we are done. So here's what it should look like when we do get done with this one. And if I run this one, it's not going to have near as much at this point. So here's what mine looks like now, right? Got my title on my tab, but nothing else. All right, step 2. Again, we're on page 297. It says enter opening and closing tags for the table element within the body of the document. So we're going to go into the body here. I'm going to tab over. I'm going to do table. And I'm going to go down a line and go ahead and close that element. So here's the element with nothing in it. Let's see. Within the body of the document, set the cell spacing attribute for the table to 5 pixels. I'm looking at my solution file and I don't see that right now. I don't know if we end up getting rid of that later on. We should probably just add it for now. Let's see here. So let's just go table space cell spacing equals 5 in quotes. That should do it. Again, if I refresh right now, I'm not going to see any changes. Okay, let's go to the next one. Actually, it wanted 5 pixels. I think I just said 5 pixels. Sorry about that. Step 3, enter opening and closing tags for the first TR element. Then enter a TH element. So TR is table row, TH is table header. So the second part, then enter a TH element for each header cell in the row. Use the table above to determine the content of each cell. All right, so here's where we're kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty of getting our information in here. So we're going to go TR. Like I like to do, I like to close them before I add anything in between them. So this is our top row. And it mentioned to add our TH pieces. So our first row header is name. Our second row heading is email. Our third one, our last one, is phone. So that looks good. I'm going to save and refresh quick. Got a little bit there. All right, step 4. Enter opening and closing tags for the next TR element, and then enter a TD element for each data cell with the content in the table above. Repeat for each of the remaining rows. So here, this step is where we're doing the most of our work. So again, I'm going to create an opening and a closing TR element, and then I'm going to go within it. And instead of TD this time, TD, what that does is automatically bolds that heading row, where these will not be bolded. So instead of TH, we want TD, table data. And we're just going to start typing in everything. Typing in everything that we see. What I am going to do here in a second is do a little copy and pasting to speed the process up for us. Kind of a unique way to write a phone number with dots, but it works. Maybe it's a coding thing. All right, so that one looks right. I'm going to save and refresh quick. All right, so we're getting there. It's looking good so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this below this closing TR tag. And I'm just going to replace the information now so I don't have to do quite as much. And boom. And at Muroc.com. And then hers is just extension 16. I'm going to copy and paste again below the closing TR. Now, who do we have? Judy Taylor. Judy at Muroc.com. And she's extension 17. We go down, paste again. Cindy Vasquez. Extension 18. And the last one, Kelly Slivkov. Say that 8 times fast. Kelly at Muroc.com. Hers is actually extension 12. Let's go ahead and save and refresh. Okay, we're getting there. Step 5, add a caption element with the text shown above. So what the caption is it's a title for the table. So we're going to go up here. Okay, we're going to go up here to our table opening tag and create a new line below it. Caption is the name of the tag. And we want the table to be called employee contact information. So if I save and refresh that now, I should have that centered above the table by default. So that was step 5. All right, step 6, we're going to move into formatting the table. So now we need to open up our CSS. So go into Styles, Employee CSS, and open that up. It says, step 6 says, create a style sheet named employee.css. Oh, this is the exercise solutions. My bad. I'm guessing that I don't have one in my data files. No, there is one there for department. So I just need to make one. So this is what you'll need to do as well. I'm just going to click new. And I'm going to go File, Save As, and work my way. Okay, this should be good. In my Styles folder, Chapter 9, I'm going to call it Employee. And I'm going to change to CSS. Since I have the goofy one, I'm not sure that it's going to add the CSS here. I'm going to add that too, just to be safe. Even if you switch yours to .css, it may just automatically add it for you. If it does not, you need to add that so it'll work properly. Okay, so now we have this set up. Step 7, add a 1 pixel solid black border around the table and around each cell in the table. Okay. We'll start with table as our selector, left squiggly. We're going to go border 1 pixel solid black, and then okay, I think that's all we want for now, actually. Let's try that. No. So data files, chapter 9, styles, employee CSS. Oh, maybe let's check our HTML. Yeah, so it's not communicating with our new CSS yet. So we'll have to go ahead and add that. So let's go here. We can go up to the head section, create a line under that title element, and here's where we'll connect to our new CSS file. /employee.css. All right, let me refresh. Let me refresh now. There we go. So there's the beginning of it. Solid black border around the table and around each. Okay, so that's around the table. Now we need to do it for each cell. So the way that we'll do that is we will add, so we can tell both of these, use 2 selectors at once. So TD and then TH should do all those cells that we created. And we're just going to do the same thing. 1 pixel solid black. Be sure to close this new rule set. Now I think each one, we should have a border around each cell as well. We do. And it looks goofy, so I'm sure it's going to tell us to get rid of that. So it's just a single line between each cell and not a box around each one. Step 8, add a link element to the HTML file that links to the style sheet you just created. Well, we did that. Then save changes to the HTML and CSS files and refresh the browser window. Notice that there's a space around the border of each cell. Remove the cell spacing attribute from the table element and refresh the browser window again. So that is at the beginning when I didn't see this piece. Let's just delete this piece in our opening tag for our table and see what sort of change we see. A little bit. There's still a small amount of space around the border of each cell. Step 10. Add the border collapse property to the table and set its value to collapse. Refresh the browser window again and see that there's no longer space between those. So let's go back to our CSS. And we're going to go just to our table rule set and say border -collapse. Collapse. Go back. There we go. So that's what we're more used to seeing. Turn the page, 298, step 11. To make the table more readable, add some padding between the content of each cell and the cell border. In addition, align the column headers at the left side of the column. Finally, use sans serif font for caption. Make the caption boldface and add some space below it. So there's a lot there, but we'll go ahead and do it. The part, let's see, what was that second part? Align the column headers at the left side of the column. Oh, okay, because they're centered right now. Okay. So, there's a bunch there. Let's start with some padding. So let's go padding, and this for each cell. 2M space, or excuse me, .2M space .7M. We save this and refresh. So the 2 is top and bottom. So it did 0.2 M's of spacing to the top and bottom, and it did 0.7 M spacing to the left and right of each of those cells. Let's go to the table header. It mentioned that it wanted the table header aligned to the left. So text dash align left. Sure to close it. Okay, so those are left now. What else? It wanted us to mess with the caption, this top part here. So just caption is the selector. It wanted us to change the font family. I don't know if this is changing it or not. But a lot of times this is what you'll see. You'll have multiple put in here just in case the computer device that someone's on doesn't have the first one, then it'll jump to the second one. And it wanted it bolded, so font dash weight bold. And it talked about a little bit of spacing. So margin dash bottom 0.5 M. Close it. That looks good. I think that was it for this step. Yeah, that looks good. So let's go to step 12. Add a background color to each header cell. Then add a different background color to every other row in the table. The easiest way to do that is to assign a class to each row you want to have a colored background. Okay, so let's do that first. Let's go over to our HTML and create some classes here. So gray. Since our TH element is all by itself, we won't have to do anything there, but we will have to go every other. So starting with an, we're going to do TD, or excuse me, I want the whole row. TR class equals gray. And this alone, you'll notice, does not change it to gray yet. All right, if I refresh, it's not gray yet. We have to, in our CSS, communicate with that class and tell it to turn gray. But let's add our other one here too. So TR class equals gray. And then let's go back over to our CSS. And we are going to add one more rule set, tr dot gray. And background color, I'm just going to say gray. In the solution file, they show a specific one using a hex code. We'll see what this looks like. And all right, let's test this first. Okay. And then they want another one for that top row. So we'll go back to our CSS. We'll go to our table header row or rule set. And background dash color gray. Theirs actually shows, you can't even tell in the book because it's black and white. So see, theirs is blue. Let's go ahead. We'll change ours to how they are in the book. So then when I go to grade yours, I'm not thinking, hey, why do they have some different grays or they don't have the blue? So let's just change them right now. The hex code that they use for this one is hashtag B0C4DE. And the hex code that they use for the gray classes is hashtag D3D3D3. So let's see if those look kind of bluish and gray. There we go. We should be done with this one. As always, have a great day.